Welcome to the Produce Industry Podcast, your weekly download on current events, trends, market reports, and community discussions. Join us each week from Tampa, Florida, as we cover all aspects of the produce supply chain industry. Ladies and gentlemen, here's your host, my boy, the voice of the produce industry, Patrick Kelly.
Hey, produce people, welcome back to the Produce Industry Podcast. I'm your host, Patrick Kelly, also known as Lil Citrus, coming to you live from Tampa, Florida. That's right, everyone. The Aglife Media Studios right here on the Produce Industry Network. Super excited to be coming to you with an impromptu live session right on Monday morning. It's, 10:49 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and it's all about bringing you the freshest content available to what we have. And it's kind of interesting because I'm sitting here going, when's the last time I actually recorded a Monday episode on Monday? And normally it just happens the week before, with recording. And today we made things happen. We have a special guest. We have two special guests today. One that you're going to see right now, and then two we're recording for the following week, right? So we're having more people in studio, and I'm super excited about it. So I wanted to bring on our co-host immediately, obviously, before we get started, because we have a couple announcements to go into. So why don't we do that first, and then we can go over the announcements with our subject matter expert of the day.
What's up, everybody?
Hey. What's
here in the studio in Tampa, man?
Hey,
oh yeah.
Welcome back. I love having you, man. That's one thing I will tell you.
It was quite a surprise. It was a surprise weekend.
It was definitely, and we're gonna talk about that, right? We will definitely talk about the surprise weekend. Everyone, I was super surprised. But I always say before we get started, right, we do have a couple announcements. Okay, everyone,
let's go over them.
And one, we've got a lot of shows coming. I always say, we always say it's trade show season, but it's always trade show season, right?
Yeah.
And then one thing I can say is we have, was it next week? July. Today's June 30th. What day is it?
It's next week.
So
OPS.
Next week we have OPS.
Yeah.
I've never been to this show.
Did you know that I'm an ambassador for the show?
2 years, right?
This is my third year as an ambassador.
Third year as an ambassador. I've never been to the show. We haven't been able to work it out yet.
Awesome show.
But Dan goes. Dan's right there in Alameda, California. Right?
You got to come out, man. You got to come to Monterey in July. It's an incredible scene. The amount of people that are there.
Go golfing. I'm sorry. Monterey is to me is
nice.
is golf time, right?
Yeah.
So
there's a lot of good spots there.
Yeah, I got to go golfing. But OPS next week.
Yeah,
July 8th. And
crazy to think it's next week.
I know already. 8th, 9th, 10th. You're going on vacation here soon. We'll talk about that. But I'm starting to realize more organic companies, right?
Continues to grow,
right? And that's what you've been saying. It consistently grows. Shout out, we have Rowdy Rabbit. That one of the cool things I like is discovering cool brands. And I've noticed about organics, Ross, they have sometimes cooler brands than the conventional side. I don't know why, but the Rowdy Rabbit brand, right? It's got this rabbit. And
that consumer that goes along with that is, big organic.
Colorful.
They like different things.
Yeah. I mean, you got Fruit World with their citrus bag. And again, Rowdy Rabbit Organics. And we got to have Dan stop by, and you as well. Booth 1108. Listen, it would be a rabbit tattoo for me in the future.
And that's one thing about the show is
right?
they have a lot more booths this year. Actually, they're taking over pretty much the whole convention center. Traditionally the show is on the bottom, and then they would do education on the next level up. But they're going to have booths in the whole convention area, and education is going to be at the Marriott. So the show continues to grow, attract more people, and they want to stay in that area because of everything that it provides, from being able to go visit growers and shippers, because it starts off with tours.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Which the tours generally sell out, and there's usually waiting room.
I didn't know that.
And there's all sorts of experiences that you get to have with the show. And that's what has always attracted me to the OPS was, back in my retail days was, being able to go see different growers and shippers on these tours, the education, and then the show being more of a smaller venue, and you have the time and the opportunity to really chat with vendors. So it provided a really good venue for so many experiences and such a great opportunity that it provides.
Really cool. And then the next show we have coming up is IFPA Food Service, which is just about a month, not even a month, about 25 days later,
week of the month.
July 31st. Then the Food Service Conference goes on. That's a big thing for you guys as well.
And Fresh Edge, they sponsor the Chefs Awards. So there's always a big recognition for those chefs with the IFPA. That we do a big recognition dinner and they get to walk the show, and it's really cool. We got to
get some of those chefs on. I think that'd be cool. We should have a Fresh Edge sponsored like chef deal, like grab chefs from different regions that that Fresh Edge supports. That'd be pretty cool. Yeah. Learn from different areas and different things. And it's a big conference as well. Now we're doing
big conference.
The IFPA Food Service event is powered by our podcast is going to be powered by Zag Technological Services. You've seen it in I would say the news right now. UNFI, right, just got hacked.
Oh,
right. Big cybersecurity hack. That is what Zag does, right? They're about their cybersecurity, because the one thing we always say is like, you never know when you're going to be next. It's like this. Well, you get a tetanus shot every 10 years, right? Because you never know when you're going to come in contact with a rusty nail. And you don't, right? But it's that one time. You got
to stay protected.
Right? As crazy as that sounds, like I almost take it to that kind of
we deal with some technology that I know we'll talk about a little bit more, but they've had to change the way they do sign on to protect data.
100%.
And again, it may different things may be more of an inconvenience. But as long as your information is staying protected, you may have to be a little bit of inconvenience in one way or another to make sure that you are protected.
100%, man. And it happens all the time, right? We see it over and over again. So IFPA Food Service, Juanita is going to be at the Zag Technological booth, right? She's going to do some videos. She's going to be hanging out. So she'll be walking the show as well. We've got a couple interviews that we're doing there, but you got to check out Zag. I believe their booth is 1107 at the IFPA conference. Very close, right? The OPS.
How did that work out?
I know, right? Like two different conferences. I have two different
7 and 8, man.
Right?
You got to remember 7 and 8.
But again, two different conferences though too. Right? One's OPS, one's IFPA. So don't get confused, everyone. I put it on there. But again, those announcements are important. We want to let everybody know where we're going to be. And then the third one is I do have to move into August, which is in the middle of the month. They have NEPC by the Sea. It's interesting because I'm trying to help grow that conference as well, because it's got a lot of good people there. It's a very niche conference. The first time I went, I was so overwhelmed because I was like, I don't know who to talk to.
I know you're trying to get me to go this year, but I have a conflict.
I know, but it's like, it's small, but it's powerful, right? And you have all those Northeast retailers at that show, and they participate. So it's one of those things where it's like, how can you not go to it? But I do agree. Like, I think Fresh Ed should go to this, right? I think that, or at least some of the indie guys, right? Some within the network should go, because it's got a lot of vendors that are there that you guys are connected with. Yeah. And then it's got a lot of customers like that could be serviced right through you guys or by you guys, right? Because you're in that area. And then again, it does bring in newer people. Like, that's one thing I would tell you. I met probably 20 people from the show.
Recently, when I was up in New England visiting some family, my brother-in-law owns the organic juice barn, which is just outside
you told
of Boston.
Me about that. Yeah.
And I told him, I said, dude, you need to go to this show, because, they are focused on organic produce, and they use it in many different ways, from juice to food items that they also prepare and different things. So, even from a small little provider like him, going to that show can get value from it.
Oh, 100%, 110%. You can get value from that.
Shout out to him. So if you're in Boston, you go to that show at the Organic Juice Barn
we're gonna have to check it out
for some juice.
That and the Boston Tea Party Museum. I'm just saying,
there's so much history. The Freedom Trail, the cannolis, the lobster rolls. Oh,
lobster rolls are dynamite. But it's funny because like
a lobster roll.
If you go to the tea museum too, it'll tell you how much lemons and oranges and citrus were brought into that port.
Nice.
That's what's cool. So like, I actually have that video because I was like, oh my gosh, I learned another new thing about citrus, right? And you know me with citrus, right? I want to find out.
And if you're into beer, you got Sam Adams brewery tour. You could do a brewery tour there. I've done that before.
I've done brewery tours in the past, but
that one's a good one. That one's a good.
We have a lot of in Florida too, so you can go see breweries like all the time.
It's not as historic as Boston.
It's not Sam Adams. Okay,
you gotta get the Boston. You gotta get the Boston accent.
You get the Boston, and we go Wicked Dak.
I didn't do it very well.
I can do the Wicked Dak. Give me some khakis right now.
In other words, they don't call it a water fountain; they call it a bubbler.
Oh, All right. We'll get with my buddy Brian up there. I'm hoping to go up there. I say hoping. I'm going to go up there early, play some golf. MEPC, please check it out. August 18th, 19th, 20th. I always say that's like a 3-day span. Even though it's only 2, you want to get there a day early.
You'll be busy there. I'll be busy with our own thing going on in Indy.
So. I get it. Well, listen, let's do this. We're going to take a quick break. Okay. We're going to hear from one of our sponsors. And then when we get back, let's talk about summer vibes, right? What produce we had in this last week coming into 4th of July. And I got some cool things next to you.
Red, white, and blue.
We got some cool items next to you that we're going to also showcase as well. So everyone will be right back.
120 years ago, in Groningen, the Netherlands, a small produce business began, trading fresh local fruits. By the 1930s, the Vandenberg family moved to Rotterdam, Europe's burgeoning fruit hub. But when the 1940s brought turmoil, they fled to America, rebuilding their legacy in fresh produce. In 1958, Jack Vandenberg became a trailblazer, importing fresh Chilean fruit to the US, opening doors to global flavors. Today, that spirit of growth and innovation continues, with sustainable packaging, carbon footprint tracking, and the finest fruit varieties. We're redefining freshness for the future. Family, fresh, innovation, celebrating a legacy 120 years in the making. This is Jack Vandenberg.
Welcome back to the Produce Industry Podcast, everyone. Hey, I love the history of Jack Vandenberg.
Yeah.
You can't beat it.
Can't have it.
Like legitimately cannot beat that.
It's a cool video.
Good job, John. John did a good job on that one. So,
but hey, we're jumping into summer vibes.
Yeah.
And
well, listen, because if you want to be a produce boss, the status to reach that
to get a cherry box,
right? Like there's more than meets the eye on the produce boss.
Obviously,
status.
I didn't bring mine all the way from Florida down here, and within 2 days it's already half gone. You know, they're that good. But let's show these suckers off here.
Oh my. Look at those. Wow.
Is that a good zoom?
Oh, that's a great zoom, man. You can't beat that.
They're so sweet this year. The supply looks to be really good. Man.
Let me see one. I would say test me.
You gotta try one. Take it there. It's heavy. It's heavy.
It is.
There's some weight to those.
I got this box in from Stamilt, everyone. And
Stamilt cherry box.
They told me, they're like, if it's not the best cherry you've ever had, send it back.
I don't know that you're gonna find a better sweet cherry.
How do you say that to somebody, right? They were like,
what's cool is like I've been getting it now for a few years, and I still have all the boxes from every year that they sent me one.
That's crazy.
I'm gonna find a way to repurpose them in my, they're in my garage. I've got them saved.
All the boxes.
I'm gonna find a way to repurpose them. Yeah.
Back in the days, they used to do these. Like if you show that the box, that the top of the box, like they would do that and make it into like a wood plank. That's also a pretty cool item that you can have.
It's cool how they have it engraved in the wood and everything. It's
all right. Shout out just to Milt. I normally
they do a nice job.
I normally don't do this, but shout out to Milt.
Eat your cherry. They're good. That's some crunch.
Wow.
Just burst with flavor. Bursting with flavor.
I'm like looking for my napkin because last time I had cherries.
It's over here.
Oh.
I got one here. But it is 4th of July week. And July, we recently had on Fresh from the Field Fridays a different cherry company, and they talked about the supply. It looks like it's going to be a really good year. And what's nice about Stamilt is they have higher elevation ones. I was fortunate to visit them a few years ago, and they typically can go into September, which is amazing to be able to have cherries through Labor Day, with the different things they do, the halfway to the moon and all those kinds of things. So I like it.
That's pretty cool. I think that's pretty cool that that gets to happen too.
Yeah.
Right.
Cherries are delicious. Oh, so good.
Right.
And they're one of the things that is still really seasonal in the produce department.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So which is really nice, is because you don't have a whole lot of things that are seasonal. And I think cherries are one of those things you really can get excited for. Just get your fill, Get July. Just buy a bag every week.
Just buy a bag every week.
Every week, buy a bag.
I started buying the Rainiers.
You never know when they're going to be gone in August.
Oh, wow. That's also true. You don't know because it's a very short time period.
Weather could come in. They could say, hey, we're going to make it to Labor Day. They get a rain and then they get splits and boom. Then
I've even asked people like about imports, and I've even had people say, no, we're directly USA domestic only. And I mean, based on your face, there's a reason for that, right?
The imports just don't have the flavor. It's not the experience yet because of how they have to grow them and how they have to ship them over here. You don't get the same experience on import cherries and import tree fruit, in my opinion. So
I agree.
That's just mine.
And again, your consumers know,
but
right, they know best.
I know. I look forward to 4th of July weekend with all of the produce, like watermelon. My Alice has been asking me for like, Dad, when are we gonna have watermelon?
Yeah.
Dad, are we gonna have watermelon at Patrick's party this weekend? I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm like, we will have watermelon for the 4th of July. I guarantee we will have some watermelon.
Jet and I have talked about doing like an impromptu live on Friday. If it's not raining, just right outside, doing some lawn chairs and doing watermelon and just eating watermelon and talking about produce. Like, think about Jet, who has no idea about fresh produce, right? Like now he's like, whoa, I'm working for this produce and this is what it is, right? So it's kind of crazy, right? So watermelon's obviously a staple.
Sweet corn,
things we grabbed over the weekend, right? So
peaches.
This weekend it was very cool. Ross and a few other people came into town. I turned 40 on Thursday. I had no idea people were coming into town for my birthday. I knew Tony Nuovo from Grower Stock was coming this week for a podcast. I knew Ross was going to come down, but I didn't think like all of a sudden they were going to show up over the weekend. So we had a lot of produce at the party this weekend.
There was a fruit tray, there was a veg tray, and it was consumed pretty good. I mean, my daughter ate all of the cantaloupe. She's like, oh, the cantaloupe's all
I was
gone.
wondering where the cantaloupe went.
But you know who finished the last of the strawberries?
Who?
Your daughter, Danny.
Did she?
Oh, she was tearing the strawberries up.
She's a berry girl, man.
She was tearing the strawberries up. It cracked me up.
She loves berries, man. I mean, she's a blueberry girl every day. And sweetest batch, too. Oh, sweetest batch. Like Driscoll's. I don't know what you did, but the other batches.
I was at DU just a week ago.
Those poor people, like the other batches. Yeah. They responded to my Instagram post, but they didn't collaborate with me. Driscoll's, come on. Like, but it was good. The sweetest batch raspberries we had. What was that, a few weeks ago? So pretty cool.
Strawberries, raspberries, blackberries, blueberries, they're all, they hit that bricks level and then they qualify to be sweetest batch.
Oh, it's amazing, right? And just like the high bricks going over to Korea for citrus and things like that, right? And then it's got to
be elite to be in the sweetest batch.
It's got to be, right? And then beach vibes, right? Like one thing, went to the beach over the weekend, and everybody, a lot of times you think like you're going to bring potato chips, you're going to bring all these different things. You do bring some of that, right? Because you want that crunchy aspect and things like that. But Ross was like, hey, we're going to head to Walmart before we head over, grab some towels, grab this. I'm like, dude, I'm like apples, strawberries, anything, right?
I mean, cherries.
Right. I mean, don't get me wrong. We still had a couple donut
bananas
boxes in there. We have normal stuff. It's not like we don't eat donuts, everybody. We still do. But I was like, dude, we got to get everything fresh, because when you're on the beach and the salt is just hitting your skin and hitting your mouth, nothing does it better like a cold glass of ice water and fruit. Like, I swear, it like resets the palate almost, right? Like, if not, you're eating chips, you're eating salsa, and it's like
you already got the salt in the air from the ocean.
Yeah, you're just killing yourself with salt.
You don't need more
sodium.
salt. Yeah, don't need more salt.
It's so true, man, and that's the crazy thing.
Even my son that puts salt on everything, he was like, "Oh, that's too much.
There's too much.
It's
salt.
in my mouth. It's in my nose. It's
I love it. It was funny because when they got salt water in their mouth, it was like, how do you get it out? Like, it's like, because it almost like stays in your mouth for a while. And if you swallow salt water and you're done. Like, you almost want to like get out and flush. Like, the emergency flush stations at the warehouses. Like, like that's how I feel you need to go into once you get out of the beach, like here in Florida. But I always say, is what it is.
Hey, there's so much going on in July. There's so much fresh produce. It's just one of the best months to really get out there and shop the produce department. So
100%.
The flavors are just incredible.
No, I did. No, it's crazy. I did a video the other week and I walked into Publix and maybe you might know this, but I know cucumbers, right? But cucumbers completely out of stock. Tri-colored peppers completely out of stock. Grapes completely out of stock. Blackberries, raspberries, blueberries completely out of stock at Publix. And someone reached out to me and said, you probably went Wednesday night before they stocked the shelves. I'm going to give her that comment. Okay. But this is my normal Publix that I shop at. I've never ever seen stock that empty before they stock the shelves. Because why? They're out there stocking before it gets empty. It was 2 days before the stocks were replenished. So I don't know.
It's a tragedy. Tragedy.
But it made me not. I didn't buy blueberries, strawberries, anything for
and
those couple days.
And it's sad because it's not like there's a severe shortage. It just sounds like they had some kind of distribution disruption, or something may happen.
And
or
it's crazy because
the produce manager, or I mean, who knows how they order? Whether it's the produce manager or it's an automated system, things didn't get checked in the system. I mean, it could be all
That's
sorts
a
of different
perfect
things.
plug though too. Like when you talk about, like I said, it's because these are the accidental plugs, right? Like think about Empower Fresh. Would that have happened with Empower Fresh, right? Probably, because it would see and be counting the stock.
Correct.
So if it was going
out of stock, warehouse
is
out because of other upstream channels, then who knows? I mean, there's just all sorts of things that can happen. We're in a fresh supply chain that anything can happen. Buyer gets an ad wrong, or sales miscalculates a projection, and things happen.
No, I agree with. I definitely agree with that.
Nimble, and that's what's nice about the produce supply chain is we're nimble enough that usually we can react pretty quick. But for that many outages, that seems like something
right?
a little bit.
It seemed a little
like a couple here and there, like you get an ad item off or here there, but that many outages, I don't know. Out of stocks.
I'm the same, right? So I think it was just maybe it was the right time period, right thing.
But I mean, that's what's hurting some fresh produce at retail is stock levels from the morning to evening. Like I get you have to go from truck to truck, but there needs to be a better way to ensure that.
I agree with that.
If you're a shopper at 9 a.m. or you're a shopper at 6 p.m., you have a great experience.
You're right.
It's about the shopping experience.
I like that.
So
it shouldn't matter whether it's Wednesday night, restocking night, or Tuesday,
Saturday morning.
It shouldn't matter. Yeah. It really shouldn't. So
if you're a consumer that doesn't want to go on the weekend and you want to do it during the week, now you're out. So if you
get enough work,
you only shop once a week and you're doing it after work, or like us, we're both busy. There's a lot of times I'm shopping between my kids' activities. I drop them off. I go to the store. I have 45 minutes to do my shopping.
You're so true.
And then I need to get my list, and then I go back and pick them up, and then we go home because we're busy dads.
And if you miss, you miss it.
Yeah. And it's like, maybe I'll get back in a couple of days. Maybe I won't, but now I don't have that opportunity for my family to have that fresh produce.
I agree. All right, let's take another quick break. When we get back, we're going to talk about the other items that are on the desk over there, how to get Produce Boss status, everyone. And I think that's important because what's over there is how you get Produce Boss status too.
Oh yeah. You got to get to that elite level.
You have to get to that level. So we're going to hear from Zag, and we'll be right back.
Zag Technical Services, we do many things. Managed services for IT needs, including consulting. Another area of expertise for us is cybersecurity, making sure that there's awareness and risk prevention. And then the final piece is the data and software services, where whether it's software automation, data management, even AI, we have things that we can do to help your business. Those are core components that your company relies on. So we have a rich history of being able to manage these IT services so that you don't have to worry about them. You trust us so that we keep your operations going and your business going ultimately. When we talk about what AI can do for you and the time savings, even though you don't think you have something that you can just put AI in, you probably do if you have a business case that could be benefited from automation or efficiencies that are brought in. We can trust AI to do those things, and the beauty of that is you can free up time for your employees to do more meaningful work. So even if you think you may not benefit, I think it's worth a conversation because you will be surprised. We'll walk you through every step of the way, and we're here to help.
All right, everyone, welcome back. Now, before we get Ross back on, there's a couple things that I do want to go over because we're going to go over. He's opening them right now. So again, it's funny because people always ask me like the Produce Boss. People are like, how is Ross is the Produce Boss? Well, of course he is. He's got that status, right? And to get that status, right, there's a lot of things that come with it. We're going to tell you a couple things how to become a Produce Boss in the produce and supply chain industry, and it has to do with some of your swag, everyone. Okay, so Ross, we are going to talk about swag, buddy. Let's get you back on camera. And Ross, you know this because you got a pair of the Fresh Edge shoes that we made a couple years ago. Remember?
Well, yeah. First, we did the Indie Fruit Show show shoes.
Those were the first.
We
one of the first, yeah.
When they brought that back, after the COVID time, and we had those shoes.
I thought it was cool. We have a total, everyone, we got the Indie Fruit shoes. Okay, we've got the Citrus from California shoes. We have the original Produce Industry Podcast shoes, which is just my logo. We've got the Water for All shoes.
Yep.
We've got the Fresh Cravings shoes we did for IFPA. Okay. And then we've created, those were like the 5 main shoes that we did.
Then I got those Fresh Edge shoes
and
when
we only made one of those. So remember, we only made 2 of those, a pair for you and a pair for Steve. Remember? Yeah. So some of these shoes, they're not released to the public. Fresh Edge is not
special edition,
right? Fresh, that's not. There's a way to get those, and then the Produce Industry Podcast shoes, the original OG shoes, have never been made outside of anything else. Okay, so that's also a fun one, and then the newest one we have. I say, but
show them off.
Just go ahead. Okay,
just go ahead and show them.
Listen, everyone, you've asked. A lot of people have asked. Okay, so we have now recreated the original Produce Industry Podcast shoe. This is our logo. Oh, look at that cherry on there too. Look at that cherry.
That's a nice green stem.
Okay.
That is fresh.
Fresh cherry. Okay. Strawberries, papaya. I always had to have the blues on there too. You got the blues, right? You got the pear up front. Just overall, vibrant. I got a cranberry in there, blueberry, lime, raspberry. And what's cool about this is now we customized it so the pin logo is right here. So the Produce Industry Network logo is where you can't see it, I say, right? I wanted it to be very discreet. And then what we're doing is you're getting your custom logo on the inside of your shoe for branding purposes. This is a new one I'm making for somebody else for their produce department. So these are going to go on sale, not with the customized logo.
Not with their logo.
These are going to be remade. You are going to be able to order these for a limited time. I'm going to have the Produce Industry podcast shoe back out. And then the other shoe that you guys have been asking for, which is the
history of fresh produce.
Yeah. Now throw me one of these here. You're going to throw them over the top. Whoa. We almost died here. All right. So check this out. So this shoe, which you're going to love, everyone. So see how they're both the same, right? Turn to the other side. Okay. Do you see the character on yours?
Yep.
And the character on mine?
Yep.
So this will be one of 2. Okay. We're going to do 2 separate runs. So you have to collect both shoes to get both logos. Does that make sense? So this guy's on the right of shoe. That Egyptian character's on the left. So this is pair 1 of 2. The set 2 of 2 is going to have this gentleman on the left and the Egyptian on the right. So you'll have to collect both pairs of shoes if you want to wear the same on or different.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a little different, right? So I didn't put them on both sides for a reason. We're going to have some fun. We've got a lot of people wanting to order these shoes. These are our history of fresh produce shoes, as you can see in the logo. And these are cool. Very cool. I can also tell, everyone, you can tell we're using different cameras. Like, look at your color compared to my color. Look how crazy that is. This is why we're getting new cameras next year. But pretty cool, right? I mean, those are things that everybody's asked for. So we are going to do more shoes this year, more customization. This is part of what we do.
Ideas, yeah.
Fresh from the Field Fridays is going to come out with their shoes this year. And again, it's about just giving people what they've asked for, right, Ross? I mean, they've asked for it. Let's give it to them. And I think it's cool. I think that's one of the things that I like and is cool is that we get to provide the industry with some cool stuff, right?
Exactly.
So if you are a sponsor and become a sponsor of the podcast, a limited time that we're probably going to go ahead and offer 5 pairs of shoes for you within a new sponsorship, if you're a choice sponsorship or above. And then you guys can have a custom pair of shoes for wherever, your trade show, your produce department, whatever, right, Ross? And I think that's...
Put them on your shelf.
Those are going on my shelf because I wanted to get some custom pairs. So All right, well, listen, let's get some key takeaways as we start to wrap this up, because we're approaching 31 minutes, and it's Monday. We want to get you back because we got one more recording to do today.
Yep.
Just some key takeaways, man. If you look at like the industry alone, or itself, right? Like, what can we tell people? I mean, heck, we were talking out in the studio with Tony earlier just about how people consume information and the digital world, swag, supply chain. Give some key takeaways, man, of just the industry right now.
Well, as you've said, a lot of things have gone digital. So from all points of the supply chain, there's a lot more information out there about what's going on, what you're doing. And, I would say from putting on a buyer cap, just because you have some interaction with some vendors, we've lost a little bit of the conversation. When you're looking at doing some buying and you're talking to a vendor or you get a price sheet, it's always a starting point. There's always a conversation. There's always negotiation that needs to happen.